Hello there, guys. I'm glad you came back for a second part of reading Tinkerbell and Friends. And thank you ever so much for subscribing to my channel. And I hope you will be welcome back, and hope you came back again after the break. Then let's begin to continue halfway through the Tinkerbell and Friends. You already know it's Disney fairies, right? And you like Peter Pan, right? Do you recognise 1953 classic? I do so too. I like Peter Pan so much, and so does Tinkerbell. I think it's quite interesting for you guys, and I'm glad you come back for a second part of reading Tinkerbell and Friends. Let's begin to continue after you have learned so far about shearing butterflies. It was on Prilla and the Butterfly Lies. That's the one. Okay, so let's begin to continue on page 15, perhaps. I think I was right, actually. Was I? Oh, she put her hand on her lips. I have been trying to ignore it, but your nicey nice behaviour is getting on my last nerve. I have got a new talent for you, sweetness. Doormat, mate, talent. You let everyone walk all over you. Prilla cringed. Was she really that bad? Don't look at me as if I've been pulling off the wings of dragonflies. I know everyone around here thinks I'm horrible, but I do try to help out the fellow fairy now and then. So I am helping you now. I don't want to see you hurt. Vidya scolded fiercely. Prilla had feeling Vidya hadn't meant to say that last part. Raising her chin, Vidya flipped her hair back and said, "Face it, Prilla. You have got a problem." "A problem? What do you mean?" Vidya asked Prilla. "You are the fairy who just can't say no." Prilla stared at her shoes. "Well, what's wrong with being helpful?" she asked, a little defensively. She didn't want to say it out loud to Vidya, but she liked it when the other fairies asked her for help. In Pixie Hollow, talent groups did everything together. They worked together, played together, ate their meals together. When Prilla had first arrived, she hadn't known what the talent was. She had felt very alone. Prilla had desperately wanted to fit in back then. In the end, she had found her talent and her place among the other fairies, but even now, every time someone asked for her help, she felt glad. She knew that Vidya would never understand. Vidya was a loner. She preferred her own company to that of anyone else. Why she even lived alone in a sour plum tree, apart from the rest of her fairies. Vidya gave Prilla an exasperated look. "Sweetness, what is the only thing that's important to me?" she asked. That wasn't hard to answer. Flying fast, of course," Prilla replied. "And why is that?" Vidya asked. Prilla was puzzled. "Because you like to fly quickly." Vidya rolled her eyes. "Because it's my talent, pumpkin. The most important thing to do any fairy is her talent." She crossed her arms and smirked at Prilla. "But the most important thing to you, apparently, is being helpful." Vidya made a disgusted face as she said the word helpful. With a sinking heart, Prilla realised that Vidya was right. She had been spending too much time on the fairies' talents and not enough time on her own. But I don't like to say no, Prilla admitted. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Why not just say, be gone with you? Your stupid talent bores me, Vidya suggested. Prilla gasped. You know I could never say that. Okay, Vidya said. Maybe that isn't your style, but the next time the fairy asks you to help with some dreadful task, you should say, forget it. I'm not interested. I have my own talent to attend to. Prilla frowned. Why do you care, Vidya? Why do you want to help me? Vidya paused. Then she shrugged. You helped me once. I am just returning a favour. Quick as a wink, she was gone. Prilla walked home slowly, deep in thought. Vidya was right. Prilla was not a caterpillar shearing fairy. She wasn't a tree bark grinding fairy, or an entryway polishing fairy, or one of any of those other talents. Prilla was the one and only mainland visiting clapping talent fairy, and it was time she started acting like it. The morning sunlight crept into Prilla's room. Walking her, she yawned and stretched. Feeling very lazy, she located a few grains of fairy dust and from her bed, sprinkled some of her washing up items. Magically, a pitcher poured water, not too hot, not too cold, but just right into the washing bowl. Referred to moss. Washcloth dipped itself into the warm water, wrung itself out, and gently scrubbed her face. She giggled as she washed behind her ears. It tickled. Next, she flicked a grain onto the pine needle, brushed her hairbrush. Exactly 25 strokes later, her hair was glossy and tangle-free. Prilla considered using a fairy dust to get dressed. She laughed at the thought of her clothes, marching out of her wardrobe and modelling themselves for her as she considered each outfit. Instead, Prilla climbed out of bed and made her way to her wardrobe. She took her whisper-soft white muslin nightgown and put her favourite pink silk dress with purple trim. After fastening its leafy green belt around her tiny wrist, she began to search for her matching shoes. Finally, she found them far beneath her bed. She pulled the buckles tightly around her ankles. Now she was ready to go face the day. She skipped out of the room. In the hallway, she nearly bumped into Cinder, one of the Queen's Clarion's helper friends. Excuse me, Cinder, Prilla said, but Cinder seemed to be in a rush and hardly noticed. On the Prilla's way to the tea room, and stomach rumbled. She smiled when she saw the breakfast that Dulcie and the rest of the baking talent fairies had made. There were chocolate turnovers, acorn bread, lemon poppy seed rolls, blueberry muffins and cinnamon twists. There were several different spreads: honey butter, pumpkin butter and maple butter, plus strawberry, gooseberry, chokeberry and beach plum jams. Steaming pot of pepper tea sat next to the icy pitchers of raspberries, blueberry and sparkling red neverberry juice on the table. Prilla smiled again as she recalled a time she'd helped out in the kitchen. Anyone can learn to bake, Dulcie had insisted. After the falling cake, a dozen rock-hard muffins and two baking sheets of burnt, misshapen cookies. Dulcie and had been forced to admit defeat. I guess some folks aren't meant to bake after all, she had said with a shake of her head. Prilla scanned the room, looking for a place to sit. It was a busy morning in the tea room. She thought she'd like to catch up with her friend Granny, but the water talent table was full. So was the pots and pans talent table. So she couldn't sit with Tinkerbell either. She saw an empty chair at the garden talent table where her friend Lady was sitting. But then Rosetta took the seat. Finally, Prilla spotted an open place at the decoration talent table and headed towards it. Woo-hoo! Prilla called a familiar voice. Nettle waved from her across the room. Oh no, Prilla thought. She had planned to tell Nettle the bad news after breakfast. But then she shrugged. I might as well get it over with, she thought. She took a deep breath and headed towards the caterpillar shearer's table. Our honorary caterpillar shearer, gushed Jason. We are looking forward to working with you again today. Nettle patted the seat next to her. Sit down, she said. She noticed Prilla hesitate. What's the matter, Prilla? She asked. Now was a perfect time to tell her, but Priscilla didn't know how to begin. Are you ill? Nettle asked. Prilla shook her head. She gulped. Actually, I have to be honest with you, Nettle, she said. Yes, said Nettle. Her hazel eyes widened. Here's the thing about caterpillars, Prilla began. She opened her mouth to say, I don't like them, but nothing came out. She couldn't say the words aloud. Nettle smiled. I know, she said. Aren't they great? Prilla lost her nerve. Yes, she fibbed. Caterpillars are great. She had an idea. But there's something I like even better. What is it? Asked Nettle. What could possibly be even better than caterpillar? Prilla bit her lip. Her mind was a complete blank. She frantically tried to think of something. Think, Prilla, think. She stared out of her window for inspiration. At the moment, a pretty pink and blue butterfly flitted past. The butterflies, Prilla said triumphantly. I like butterflies. She felt relieved for the split second. Then she thought, butterflies. Why did I say that? Nettle gave her a puzzled look. Butterflies, she finally said. Are you sure? It was too late to change her answer now. Yes, I am sure, Prilla said, nodding. Lovely butterflies. I just can't get enough of them. Such colourful and delicate creatures. Okay, let's stop there on page 27. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I will take a break. Perhaps I will continue on another on page 27 on the third part. I'll start there for the moment. Okay, so I guess you enjoyed reading the story with me about Tinkerbell and her friends who lives in the Pixie Hollow in the heart of Neverland. I guess you're all familiar already. Some of you have watched Tinkerbell films series. Okay, so if you're always welcome, we can write your comments down below and hit the like button, and you already subscribe to my channel to hit this bell notification. I guess you already seen it on the intro already, and I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll see you on the next part to continue, and hope you have a good day. See you soon.